we have to talk about Biko sent this to us. This is great, and then we're gonna get into some awards. But Mos Def was interviewed last week, and on the subject of the rapper / pop star Drake, he said that he doesn't feel like his music is hip hop, that it is in fact pop music that makes you think of shopping at Target, which is unintentionally extra hilarious because the videos everyone was making fun of that dude that made the videos of himself shopping at Target. All of those videos, the soundtrack is Drake. So what did you guys think of the point that he was making, and do you agree or disagree that Drake is not hip hop or rap music but is pop?
I think there was a very good discussion to be had about that, and I'm glad that we're going to have it because it's not happening on Twitter, right? Of course, this is just getting boiled down to Mos Def being a hater, and he might have been hating a little bit, but you can still say some valid shit with sprinkled in a little hate. You know what I'm saying?
It didn't feel like hate because it seemed like he didn't want to say it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I just never was of the belief that if you sprinkle in a little hate, that invalidates what you say. But you know, that's just me, someone who happens to be a hater. You know,
2023 hater of the year. Speaking about hate, but go ahead.
Someone who's shooting for hater of the year. You know,
So you are on the hate spectrum. You are more pro hate than the average, than the replacement hater. Yeah,
absolutely. I believe that as long as your hate is rooted in truth, right? As long as you ain't lying,
or it's funny,
yeah, or it's funny,
one of the
right?
two.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying?
So of course, you know, the conversation has devolved on Twitter into old dude just hating on the new guy who happens to be the top at the top of his shit. He was never as big as Drake. It's jealousy.
Oh my god!
You know,
bro.
yeah, it devolved into that, right? Like I just was so confused at how the people who were defending Drake against the allegations of him being a pop star, like they were leaning on, look at all the hits Drake has and how many Mos has. Bro, that's the point.
That's
like,
popular
right?
music.
That is it is popular music. And I think that, you know, if anyone has you know, the grounds to say what he said, it's Mos Def. Mos Def, you know, his music has always said something. I remember him making a video about you know, the murder of Amadou Diallo back in like 1999 when he got you know, the African guy in New York City who got shot like 41 times by the police. He's made songs like you know, New World Water on his debut, where he's talking about how you basically, you know, the same shit he kind of alluded to here, how corporate greed is like stripping us of bare necessities and shit. So, you know, I don't think that, you know, it like I said, I think that he was making a point that he holds dear to his heart, that okay, you're making music, but you know, the world is burning around us right now, right? Like, it's all we're doing is dancing, or are we just not speaking on the real shit that's happening to us? And you know, the common rebuttal to people who are defending Drake is Drake isn't obliged to speak on that, and so be it, right? Like, if he doesn't want to talk about it, he doesn't have to. Honestly, I don't know how. I don't think I'd want social commentary from Drake.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? I just do not think that he is going to say anything enlightening or insightful on.
You want to talk about an unnuanced conversation, like Drake on homelessness and like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But another thing that they lean on that I think is very, very much fictitious is they're saying that the type of music that is saying something isn't lucrative, it's not big, and that's bullshit. Because you look at Drake, you look at the big three from his era, right? It's him, Kendrick, J. Cole. J. Cole and Kendrick are those guys who do say shit that, you know,
they hip hop like a motherfucker.
Yeah. They're hip hop like a motherfucker. They're speaking on, you know, the conditions of society today. They're speaking on personal issues that they have, right? Like, they make the type of music that, you know, Mos Def says that Drake is lacking, and they're super fucking stars. Mr. Morale was like the highest streamed fucking rap album of that year, and he had the highest grossing concert in rap history up until that point, until Drake overshadowed him with his shit, right? So you cannot say that it's not lucrative. You can just say Drake doesn't want to do that, and that's totally fine. And artists does not have to do anything they don't want to do. But, you know, I think that there is something to be said for what Mos said, because I think that it's not necessarily an indictment on Drake more than it is an indictment on where we're at with rap now, right? Like, you know, we're of the age where we grew up when rap was fucking dangerous. Rap was revolutionary, right? We had Public Enemy and fucking NWA, and we had fucking 2 Live Crew having cases, you know, obscenity cases heard in the Supreme fucking court, right?
It was disruptive.
yes, it was disruptive. It was dangerous. It was something that people feared. And now it's something that you hear when you're shopping at Target, right? Like, you know, I completely see where Mos Def was coming from on that. But yeah, you know, not taking anything from Drake. I think Drake has a case as the GOAT. We've never seen a guy be the top rapper in the game for this fucking long. He's been the top guy since fucking So Far Gone dropped 15 years ago, right? And with that said, I do think that what Mos said has credibility too, because, you know, it's not even a shot at Drake. Like I said, it's a shot at where rap is at right now, where consumerism has just kind of occupied, you know, a genre that used to be revolutionary. So that's just kind of where I'm at with it.
I think Drake used to be hip hop, and I don't think you necessarily have to speak.
I think he is still hip hop. I think he can rap his ass off.
I think he's. Okay, this is the thing. We're talking about Drake as a whole, right? You feel me? Is Drake hip hop now as a whole? No, I think he can be. We saw when he did the
Scary
Deluxe
Hours
shit.
3 is rappity rap.
When he did the Deluxe joint, yo, he was rapping. But we don't really get that from Drake whole like in albums. You know what I'm saying? Like we get, like we said, artificial intelligence rap. He puts it into an algorithm and spits out particular type of music. He plays music with the algorithm. He makes music with the algorithm in mind, with the masses in mind, with Urban Outfitters in mind, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's making music to get placements, nigga. He want to be played in Urban Outfitters. He want to be in movies, all that shit. That's the bigger way to make bread. You feel me? And he's a business. That's how he approaches rap. But I think when you get to that point, you know what I'm saying? There's very few rappers that are not popping. Like the Migos, they pop like a motherfucker. I think rap in general is pop music. You know what I'm saying? It's the most popular, you know, genre, right? You know what I mean? So I think that's where it went left. That's why it's not disruptive anymore. That's why they don't, because they thinking about the bread and that when they making albums or whatever. But I think there's very few like there's not many people that are the best rapper like Kendrick, Jay-Z. They're the best rapper in the world at the moment and are still hip hop. You know what I mean? You have to make a concerted effort, and that is the hard way to be popular and make really good music. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Drake, you know, like you said, he's the GOAT, all that shit, but he's not hip hop anymore. But at one point he was, and I think he still has that ability. But he moves like a corporation, not like a man that's, you know, he's not, you know, not a hip hop artist. You feel me?
Yeah. And I do think that rap is extremely popular, right? So the biggest rappers are going to be pop stars in a sense, right? But I think that, you know, the connotation that Mos was making and that a lot of us make when we call a rapper pop is that you are softening your music to make it more appealable, right? You're kind of, you know, dulling your music, you know, dumbing down your music,
watering that shit down. You know what I'm saying?
as
for the
said.
masses. Yeah.
Right. But you know, like I said before, there are rappers out there not doing it. Like Mr. Morale was a hard listen the first few times I ran through it, bro. There was nothing, you know, that Kendrick softened about that album, and it was still a huge fucking success. I
don't think Kendrick made that album for us to really listen. I think he made that album in the like thinking about the performance as well. You know what I mean? We talked about this. He made that like as an art piece, you know what I mean? And it happened to be successful, you know what I mean? And I think it was a beautiful, but it's not the most repeatable album, you feel me? But it's been great. The videos have been great, and the performances is just fucking incredible. I saw the shit on Amazon. I'm like, I watched it multiple times because it's just incredible. But I think there's not many people like Kendrick. And also, like, Kendrick drops an album every 5 years, bro.
Right.
J. Cole takes his time too. This nigga Drake popping shit out like, you know what I mean? He popping shit out every, like, how many albums did he drop like in the last 2 or 3 years? It seemed like after the Pandy, he dropped like 2 or 3 albums. You feel me? So he's like, he moves differently. You can't make hip hop music, you know what I'm saying, dropping albums like on the like fashion calendar type shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You become Forever 21, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Making music like that. So I think like Drake approaches the game totally different. And then the way he approached it, it's going to be very difficult for him to have really like eye-opening, you know what I'm saying, like thoughtful music, creative music, you know, and he's dropping it so consistently like that. He's not really sitting with this shit.
Yeah, I agree with all that. But at the same time, that might be the trade-off that he had to make for the longevity he had, right?
I'm not mad at it, but I'm just saying that's why he's not hip-hop. That's not, you know what I mean?
Because
at the moment.
Yeah, because, you know, when he dropped For All the Dogs, a lot of the criticism was, bro, you are 38 years old still rapping about clubbing with 21-year-old girls.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
nasty
like,
work.
Yeah. It's like, you know, there's no growth here. And maybe he realized that growth isn't lucrative. You know what I'm saying? That growth, that, like you said, he cracked the algorithm. Okay, I know how to make a chorus. I know who are the viral stars. Let me throw Sexy Red on this motherfucker. Make a little TikTok craze, song that's going to be a big fucking hit. Get these streams up. Like you said, he knows the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, he happens to be an incredible song maker too. I'm not taking that from him as well, but yeah, it's like I said, my takeaway from that was, I think it was more of an indictment on where rap is now as opposed to where Drake is personally.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I didn't like about the comment. And I'm not, obviously wouldn't claim to, know more than Mos Def or even you guys. Like, what's the difference?
None of us are claiming to know more about Mos Def, yeah.
But what I didn't like about the comment is I think your guys' nuanced take is exactly right. I think he is taking out his frustration with where the genre of music that he loves and cares about is in its standings now on one guy who has profited from that change. And what I did not like about the comment is that it reminds me a lot of people saying that punk bands that I liked were sellouts or pop music because they happened to get very popular with the music that they recorded in garages or, that was recorded independently. And that is the history of music in America. Jazz used to be dangerous as fuck. And it was.
Niggas was on heroin. the best jazz comes from needles, nigga.
Yes, and as Tyler, like it was gonna cause intermixing of the races. Like jazz was dangerous, rock music was dangerous, punk music was dangerous, hip hop music was dangerous. That is the process of that is how, and this is what happens with all culture. Something starts out as an authentic subculture, blows up, and then it becomes to the masses. Now, because we're in America, money is involved in that, but that is always what has happened. That is always how artistic styles, whether it's painting or music or anything, have become popular. It starts with one person or a group of people, and then it expands and takes over. What I don't like about it is if Lupe Fiasco had happened to put out an album that got put in the right movie, or got, they sampled it for a fucking Friends episode or something, and that album sold 100 million copies, that changes something about Lupe Fiasco because he was more profitable or successful. Like it supposes an intent in what Drake is doing that I hate to be ever sounding like I'm defending a Drake in an argument, as both of y'all know, but is the music he's making not authentic to him? I don't think that that's true. I would Drake say, bro, seems like I'm making music for shopping. Like, I think Drake is watching the video of that dude shopping at Target set to his music, vibing. That's it. I don't know. That seems like that could be what his soul sounds like. You know what I mean?
I think it's gotten to a point, Drake's music, where it doesn't feel like Drake. You know what I mean? I don't think I hear
Does it not feel like Drake, or should Drake be a different person than he was at 38 than he was at 21?
Yeah, maybe because it doesn't sound like a 37-year-old. Maybe that's where I'm at with it. But it doesn't sound like Drake. But I think one thing we got to realize too is rap isn't ours anymore, man. Rap is not ours, bro. When it became for the most popular shit, dude, no, okay, Kendrick. Remember Kendrick put old girl up on stage and she said nigga while rapping? She had to kick him off stage. Bro, No Name? Y'all know No Name, the Chicago rapper? Yeah. Who is, I'm talking about rappity rap, hip hop like a motherfucker. She stopped performing because it was white dudes in the crowd saying nigga, listen to her shit. You know what I mean? As hip hop as she is, it's still the demographic who's listening to her shit. It's not the people that she's making music for. Rap is not ours anymore. To be profitable, it's difficult to just go ahead.
Neither of you would say Vince Staples is a pop artist, not a rapper.
I was going to bring up the Vince Staples point when he said he made an album. He made an album with placements in mind.
And but I've been to a half dozen Vince Staples shows, and the audience
they're white as shit.
As fuck.
But also Vince,
and I know for a fact that's not what he is seeking out to do when he's sitting down and recording. You know what I mean? So that's what I don't like is once you've made something and the world does what the world's gonna do with it, I don't think judging artists on that
based on what the world does, that makes sense. I get your point. That makes sense. But at the same time, though, I don't think he was just judging based upon the world. Though,
and
the
last point I would make on like the pop punk thing is that it reminds me very much of like classism and money is tied up in this. And I'm not suggesting this is Mos Def's like point. It's the note that it struck with me that I don't like is like, I remember reading about Green Day once they signed with a major label, and these were all dudes who grew up very poor. Like, they got kicked out of the club that they came up in the East Bay because they had a policy that if you signed with a label, you weren't allowed to play there anymore.
Yeah.
But like they said, it's like all the people who were like judging us and calling us sellouts or pop musicians, he's like, they're all upper middle class white kids. Mm-hmm. He's like, if we actually grew up poor and we're like, someone's going to pay us to do the fucking shit we love to do? That sounds amazing.
You fucking kidding me?
Right,
like, I'm changing my whole, like, my family's life. That's so ridiculous. Obviously
Drake's not putting music out now as like a starving artist or something like that. I just think it's hard for me to judge people based on like the way, like I said, their stuff is received. And again, like I agree with you guys that he seems more frustrated with where hip hop is in society now, which I don't even disagree with that frustration. You know what I mean?
What? Yeah. But go ahead, Tyler. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, going back to the Vince Staples conversation. He had a line that is always gonna stick with me, where he said, seeing white boys answer where I'm asking where my niggas at. No, they want to kick it at the places where we kick it at. Right. Right. About that shit. Like, yeah, that's kind of what rap is. It's a bit of voyeurism, it feels like, right? It's a bit of voyeurism from white America into black America. And to your point, Mike, about, the same shit with punk rock, like motherfuckers will be mad because a song that's like, fuck the president blew up. You know what I'm saying? like, bro, they are still very much in the spirit of the punk shit, that they're saying it just happened to be popular and get embraced a lot. But yeah, it's just, rap has, and the thing is, music has always been about consumerism, right? Music has always been about, okay, how can we sell the most records? How can we sell the most records? But the thing about rap is rap kind of fought a battle where they weren't embraced by consumerism. They were like, fuck consumerism. They were like, bro, like, who gives a fuck if we don't sell records? This ain't for them, right? Like, there was a moment in that where, being called a sellout, if you appeal to a lot of people and were selling a lot of records, they're like, okay, what part of your soul did you sell to be this? Because, white America was not embracing early rap. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's just a very interesting conversation that, like I said, not only addresses the state of rap now, but addresses kind of like just the history of consumerism in music.
And also, who's the people making decisions at these tables? What do they look like? Do they look like us? You know what I'm saying? Like,
you remember Bobby Shmurda dancing on that table in front of all the white folks?
And they couldn't even catch the beat. They look like the white people's Beyonce trying to do the swag surf, nigga. Reaching, grasping for the beat, you know what I mean? Can't catch the motherfucker. But I mean, like, as far as like, another point about Vince Staples, as hip hop as he is, he even says he made an album, I think it was Big Fish. You know what I mean? He made an album with placements in mind. He said
that album was EDM-y as a motherfucker.
But he said this is the so, like, I mean, you have to. The one placement was worth more than his whole budget. He had one of his placements he got was worth more than his whole budget, bro. Album budget. So, like, dog, to be hip hop like events, like, this is how you gotta move. You know what I'm saying? To make the type of bread you need to make. And like Mike was talking about, like with punk, like, motherfuckers come with particular places where this money changes. A lot of people are counting on them. You feel me? So a lot of people can't really move like a Kendrick, where they're popular enough, got enough bread where they can sit for 5 years and then make a very thoughtful, you know what I mean? So, like,
yeah,
it's in a rough space, yeah.
Because it's really only a conversation you hear about music. No one would ever say, for the most part, I mean, I guess this conversation is sort of happening with Marvel Studios or whatever. But like, if you make a hit movie, it's like, congrats, you made a hit movie.
Yeah.
You make a hit TV show, congrats, you made a hit TV show. No professional football player is trying to be an avant-garde wide receiver. You're trying to go to the NFL. Like, you're trying to play for the fucking Cowboy, right? But with music, it's like, oh, he's like, he's popular in this specific type of way. And again, I am not even a fan of Drake. I do not like that man. I do not think he should be taking 19-year-olds to the club.
Jesus Christ. That age, I think he said 25-year-old. Let's just say that.
He said 21. He said she was in the club 21 like a savage or some shit. He said 21.
I remember somebody said, so you acting like
you're. He didn't say she was 25 like a savage.
Okay. That's nasty.
Anyway.
All right, man.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs, is bringing you an offer that'll help make the playoffs electrifying. New customers can bet $5 on any game and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. The Cowboys are 7-point favorites against the Packers this weekend, and I'm excited to see how they manage to mess it up.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Jenkins. New customers can bet just $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code Jenkins. The crown is yours.